Christmas Day is in 22 weeks.
22 Mondays. 22 weeks. How long? I don't know about y'all, but I can procrastinate a little bit, let me tell you. So I'm trying to get ready for some Halloween and fall things, and I haven't even started on Christmas yet. So Christmas in July gets me motivated to start doing that as well. Right now, I am getting ready to send out a message to all of you on my text message notifications that we are live. So come on in and say hey. And if you have someone that you know would love to see what we're doing, I'm going to give you a sneak peek. Have them join us right here. Tag them in the comments below. Share this on your page so that you can watch it later on. But today we're going to be focusing on centerpieces, and I should have left my swag in here. If you missed it yesterday, we completed a teardrop swag that was stunning in this year's colors, which are navy blue, gold, cream and white. So it was so fun yesterday. Thank you to all of you that hung out yesterday and stuck around while we made that. But today we are ready for day 2, and yeah, there we go. Let me get this. I was going to try and spread my YouTube link, but it's not showing up that I'm live on YouTube. I guess I won't do that either. That's really odd that it's not showing up on YouTube. Hold, please. Sometimes it sends me an email that I'm live on YouTube. Yeah, it says right there that I am live. Let me see. Ba-ba-bum. There it is. Okay. So let me, I'm going to do something different and share this link instead of my Facebook link. So if you are in my text message notifications, you're going to be getting a link to my YouTube channel. And it's just basically to let you guys know that I do have YouTube as well. Don't forget to follow me over there. I have a lot of fun on YouTube. All right, guys, look at this. This is today. Watch what we're going to do with this. This is actually for later on this week, whether it be tomorrow. I'm not sure what day I'll do it, but we're going to prep this one as well. So design, I wanted to talk about how I prep my centerpieces and my the containers that I use, or the bases that I use. So a lot of you know that I love to work with these spray foam gaps and cracks. Gaps and cracks spray foam insulation. It looks just like this, or just like this if you want to look over the head. So it's for small gaps and cracks. It's an insulating foam. I love it. I'll fill containers with it, and it becomes real hard like a piece of foam. However, it's not always appropriate for every container. This is actually a little bit more fragile, and I don't want the expansion of the foam to jeopardize this votive vase in any way, shape, or form. So I'm going to use regular foam. And then this one, we're going to do something a little bit different too. So, okay, I think I got my text message out. Yay! And I might be able to follow y'all on Facebook, on YouTube too, and see if you guys. All right, good deal. Here I am. Come on in and say hey, and let me know what you're up to today. And as always, you guys know I love to hear where you're from. I don't care, because I hear it enough times. Peggy Forbes is from Jacksonville, Florida. Trust me, I know that one very well. I love Peggy to death. Every time she comes on, she tells me Jacksonville, Florida. I'm great with that. And do you know how many people we connect with when we do that? So I'll see you guys talking back and forth. Oh, you're from from such and such place in Tennessee. I live over by whatever. And we make connections in this community doing it that way. How do we get with you on YouTube? Pam, just go to, actually I should still have the link in, yeah, right there. I gave you the link in there below, and I'll put it in the comments. That is my YouTube link. Illinois, where at in Illinois? Hang on a second. From Illinois, where Iowa, Missouri, and Illinois meet on the mighty Mississippi. Maryland. So I live between Springfield, Illinois, and Decatur, Illinois. Not near the Mississippi, but I'm a little north of you. Rachel, thank you, girl. Germantown, Tennessee. Missouri, another Missourian in the house. Awesome. Yeah. Yay. All right, let me set some of this stuff aside. And I want to talk about the two different. I'm going to do this kind of at the same time. So this one is for today's. And it is absolutely gorgeous. But this one is for another centerpiece later on this week. I don't know what day yet. I'm actually going to run to Hobby Lobby right after this because I need to pick up some. I'm going to look and I'm going to go to Lowe's, Hobby Lobby, and see if I can just get some foam pumpkins. But this is for another centerpiece coming up. So I'm going to prep both bowls at the same time, or both containers. But this one's going to have the white foam, and this one I'm going to use the green foam. And then, as always, remember, folks, that when it's made out of glass, it's fragile. It's French. It's fragile. So, you know, we always need to we always need to use caution when we're working with this. Wisconsin, Meriden, Connecticut. Robin, you can tell me every time I'm live. Every time I'm live. Missouri City, Texas, Houston area. Okay, Kim, awesome. Because, as I mentioned, you know, a lot of times we will, you know, discover people, or people will discover us that may not have been on a previous live or not seen your comments. And it's just a great way to have that connection. I've known several people that have connected outside of my group, this community, because they met through Festive Creation. So it's pretty cool doing it that way. I love that. All right. Look, Terry on YouTube said hi from Chandler, Oklahoma. Joanne's from Wisconsin, and I can never say your name. Teresita. Is that right? That's on YouTube. From New Mexico. Look, if Terry were here, my husband, he'd have it right down pat, but not me. I don't have that little thing. I'm a Midwest farmer's daughter. I say that 1,000 times. All right. So we're going to be using the gray foam in this container. I will tell you that this one is a little more fragile than this one. This one's thicker glass. So I am going to be careful. I'm going to put as much, I'm only going to bring foam up to about here. Because if you bring the foam up too close to the top, then you have the struggle to camouflage the color of the foam. So if it's down a little bit lower, no one's going to see this green. If you get it too close to the top, then I feel like I need to cover it with some, oh, I am having a horrible time word finding today. The Spanish moss. So I do like to keep it cut down a little bit below. Georgia, first time watching me live. Hey, hello, Claire. Good to see you. All right, so I'm going to kind of eyeball and measure how wide I need to cut this. I can always go, I can go smaller. And I use a serrated knife. I use a serrated knife to cut my styrofoam with. This is just an old steak knife that I had, and it just got retired to the craft room. So Virginia, yeah, it's afternoon here, girl, but they're in California. Yep, it's morning. Good to see you, girl. Good to see you. Okay, now, this is where I want to be very careful because I don't want to put too much pressure on this because this votive holder is a little bit thinner. So let's do this very carefully. If I shatter one, I do have a spare one over on the side. A little bit more. I want it snug, but I don't want it so tight that I'm going to have to force it down in there. All right, so it is going to slide. I'm going to take some hot glue and I'm going to help. Now, mind you, hot glue alone is not going to make this last forever. So, true story. The very first time I used a coffee mug. One time when I made a centerpiece, when I first started doing floral designs, and I used a coffee mug. Well, it's made out of ceramic. It's made out of glass too, right? Well, I got it, brought it to the vendor show. I took it out of my container to go put it on the table, and the whole innards just popped right out. They just popped right out. Well, what happened is, just like on this ceramic tile right here, once the glue gets cold or hardened, it will pop right off. I mean, that's one of the reasons I use this ceramic tile is I can peel this right off. So that will also come loose. All right, so I didn't count on that. I was counting on that glue. But I've learned since then that I want to take these little bitty scrap pieces and I want to go right inside of there. And look, this is a great angle, guys. I want to go right in there, and anytime there's a place where I can make it snugger, is that a word? Snugger? I'm going to do that so that it reduces any possibility of any shifting. Even if that glue failed me and came loose, no worries. It's going to be so snug in there without breaking the jar that it's not going to shift. Now, I'm actually going to put another layer on top of here because I want it to be a little bit taller than that. So hold, please. And we will do that in just a moment. Oh, I lost your comments. Diana, Central Florida Hot 99. Hey, Verna. Hello. Arkansas in the house. Barb, Indiana, 20 minutes from Louisville. Did I say that right? Louisville, Kentucky. Love it. From Pennsylvania. Avon, Ohio. Barbara, awesome. Look, do you know how many truck drivers we have in our family? Hello, Charlotte. Judy's in the house. Stella. We have so many truck drivers. My sister's significant other, he drives a truck. One of my dear friends, he's been a truck driver all his life. And so it's funny because, you know, I listen to some of these towns that I'm never heard of before. And I'm going, I'll bet if Gary was here, he would know Gary, the truck driver, over the road driver. I'll bet he knows exactly where Avon, Ohio is, or whatever those places are that y'all name that I've never heard of. See, Carrie, you're a woman after my own heart. She just says Texas. That's awesome. I know where Texas is. I've been there a few times. I was just there last month. Yeah, June. Sure was. I was in Dallas. All right, so again, just trying to get a little, so it just barely, I don't want to put a lot of pressure on this votive glass piece because I don't want to break it, but I am going to add that hot glue in there. And we're going to put that right on top and fill it in on the sides, so if it does decide to come loose, this is going to anchor it even more. Love it. North Texas. Awesome. Oh yeah, Charlotte said I'm in North Texas. So again, that's how we meet each other. That's how we learn. who our crafty neighbors are. No stalkers allowed, though. Thanks. None at all. All right. With a show of hands, yay or nay in the comments, how many of you have ever done a centerpiece? Have you ever done a centerpiece? Clean up my mess here. Actually, while I'm doing that, let's come over here and we're going to talk about this one. If you're just joining, I explained at the beginning, I'm going to do the base for both of these at the same time. And let me see this before I get it completely cut. Yeah, that's too short. With a show of hands. Sheila said no centerpieces. Lois said yes. Charlotte said yes, but I could use some more practice. Karen's done a few. Shelly said I'm not great. I have, but I'm not great at it. Not comfortable with them yet. So yesterday we did a teardrop swag, and many of you have never done one. And it's just, sometimes you just gotta let it go. And friends, there is no shame at all. I went to, when I first started practicing with centerpieces, I went to Dollar Tree and I bought some inexpensive florals because it's the getting comfortable with the placement of things. So, you know, getting a Dollar Tree vase or tin or container and throwing a few dollars worth of florals and greenery in there can give you a lot of experience before you go to the more expensive you know, items and really get out there. Don't be afraid to experiment. For crying out loud, that's how we grow. And what do they say? If there's no pain, if there's no pain, you're not trying, right? So you're going to make mistakes. I hope you make mistakes because that means that you're trying, or really, you really can't go wrong with making centerpieces. Because usually just adding something here or there will fix it all. Will fix it all. Nancy said no. Roberta, not comfortable with them yet. I get it. Roberta, what's the weather like for you up there? They said thunderstorms today, and I'm looking around going, I don't see a cloud in the sky one. I wonder if they were talking about some other part of Illinois. And yes, I know I'm baby stepping this down, but if you make it too small, I want as least amount of pieces as possible. It's so close. I am so close. Baby step it. Plus two, you're seeing the process on how I am just kind of shaving away a little because I want a good tight fit in here. And then we'll clean up this hot mess. Ooh, it is so close. So friends, yesterday was the parents' meeting for Emma and Eli. Emma is in cheerleading this year. Keep in mind, I mean, for those of you that don't know, Emma and Eli are our great niece and nephew that we have custody of after they lost their mom on Thanksgiving this last year, and their father is a deadbeat. I'm just going to be honest. They're outside playing, so they can't hear me say that. So, anyway, they, we allowed them to sign up for cheerleading and flag football. And last night was the parents' meeting, but Emma got to, She actually had cheer last night. They had practice for 2.5 hours. Let me tell you, this little girl, who's 10 years old, she goes to bed at 7:30 at night. So when you don't get done with cheer until 7:30, and then you got to come home and take a shower, that girl was whooped, and she was grouchy this morning. I said, no, but she had a blast. This is going to be right down in her wheelhouse. And these kids have never had the opportunity to do things like this before. So, you know how rewarding it is to be able to offer them that in life. To just be a kid. Just be a kid. Okay, I'm getting there. Afternoon, then it gets black, and then waterworks. Oh, great. Charlotte, I thought so too, especially for even the tiny tots, the tiny ones. They were practicing like 5 to 6:30, and, you know, like the kindergarten. I'm like, man. And of course, at 5 o'clock, people, we eat dinner at 5 o'clock. So now, you know, it's like, okay, we had to rush. We're eating dinner at 4 o'clock yesterday. And Gary absolutely, okay, hang on. Gary cannot have anything to eat within 2 hours before he goes to bed. Just, body is not going to let that happen. And I'm sure some of you can appreciate the fact that, you know, when you lay down after you eat, it can cause some acid reflux and that kind of thing. So that's where Gary struggles. I have quite the pile of snow, don't I? I feel like I'm getting there. Actually, I'm feeling pretty happy right now. So, anyway, so we ate a really early dinner and, you know, trying to get all the things done. It's going to take Stephanie and Gary a little bit of time to get used to all of that. Okay. To do the same thing, I'm going to add, in this case, I'm just going to add some hot glue around the edges of this, because this, it does not touch the bottom. Now, ideally, if you had a half ball, which I don't, a half ball styrofoam, that would have been the easy way to do it, but this is the only styrofoam I have. I don't have the half balls. But if you've got balls, feel free to use your balls. Don't be afraid to use the balls. And of course, again, I wanted to use the white because this is a clear glass container. And I didn't want the green to show through. All right, and then I'm gonna take a couple of pieces and go right in there. I'll trim them down here in a minute. I just don't want this to shift. Ooh, I like the way it's turning out though. I love the way. I struggle with anything floral because, I guess because I personally don't like artificial flowers, so I would try to. Oh, Denise, I get it. Charlotte, they're supposed to be giving the uniforms tonight. So, in fact, so I had to. We weren't prepared for last night, so to speak. It was supposed to be just a parents' meeting. Well, it turns out it was actually practice for Emma. So I brought Gary and Emma back home. Not Gary and Emma. Gary and Eli back home. Then went back, and I was trying to position myself so I could watch her cheer. And they moved them. And, of course, I'm sitting there with some other moms. And so I was like, well, I don't want to be rude. I'll catch her. I'll catch her. I'll get some pictures of her or video of her cheering, you know, practice and stuff. She likes to be a flyer. Now, this old country girl, she doesn't know a lot about this stuff. So when she said she wanted to be a flyer, a long time ago, I'm like, what the heck is a flyer? Okay, now I know what a flyer is. It's the person that they throw up in the air. Because she's so tiny, she only weighs 50 pounds. She is perfect for that job as far as height and weight go. All right, is that going to hold it? That's the key thing. Is that going to hold it? Hello. We're going to give that a whirl. And I may need to still reinforce a little bit, but the bulk of it's done. So we now have this one filled and this one's ready. I'm going to set that glue gun off to the side. And we're going to get started actually designing now. The hard part was done. That prep work is done. Here too, later in the afternoon. Okay. Shirley, hello. I'm so glad, girl. Darlene, bless your heart. Thank you, Joanne. Robin, they go back on the 14th of August. Tina, seriously, don't say that. She said that her girls were flyers and it's terrifying. Look, throughout my childhood, I only had one broken bone, and it wasn't a severe fracture. It was a cracked wrist from roller skating. I fell down and caught myself with my wrist, my arm, and it fractured my wrist. Just a crack. It wasn't a full break. That's the worst accident. But I am a firm believer of not living my life in fear of, so you will often hear me say in my business coaching group and whenever I give advice at home or whatever, I always say, what's the worst thing that can happen? And, I know that there could potentially be injuries, but it's more important for me to see them out there living life, which is another reason that they don't get a lot of electronics, is because I want them living life. To me, I feel like they've got some catching up to do. They've got some catching up to do in their life. All right, friends. Here we go. Here we go. Let's see what's happening over here. All right, perfect. Just checking in on YouTube. And all right, so let's talk about this. This is going to be a winter design. So it's okay to bring in some winter elements. By the way, pine is not a winter element. When do you see pine trees? Do you see them in the spring, summer, fall, winter, or do you see them all year round? So whenever I get pine, I actually stock this year round because this can make a huge difference in a design by adding some pine to it. I feel like in this case, it's going to soften our design. I don't have a stem cutter. I do have a stem cutter. I just don't know where it's at. Ooh. There we go. Okay. Wire cutters will do. I did bring out my pick machine because a lot of times I will need picks as well. But we're going to cut all 5 of these off of here, and we're going to so Kim, year round for you. Yep. So it's not specific to winter. Don't be afraid to stock up this year on pine, juniper, just any of your evergreens, because it is a year round leaf. I don't know if that's what you call it. Nick Credicoast, do you guys know who Nick is? Nick mentioned that years and years ago. I've been following Nick and been friends with him for a while now. And, when he said that, I was like, duh, that is so true. Now, I did bring some of the frosted pine, and this definitely screams winter, right? Because it's got that frosty look to it. But this kind of pine, all day long, every day. Let's use it. Let's use it. Hey, Pam, how are you? Denise, I agree. You can. I choose not to live life scared, and I know a lot of nervous Nellies, but I have to keep that to myself if I'm nervous. Okay. All right. So when you're designing, you again, when you're making a centerpiece, you got to have some idea of what you want to create. Let me show you. So there's all kinds of styles that you can go for. This one is such an easy, simple design. This is one that I designed, but it just simply is like a puffy head over the top of the vase, right? It has a few little sprigs coming out of it, but that's gorgeous. All right. But this one is kind of low and full and just a little past the edge. Think about this. I'll tell you what, you guys, next time you go to the store, you're going to start looking at centerpieces. So now look at this, where we took the candlestick and we made it drape off to the side. We took a candlestick that was this big and we made a design that was about 18 inches in diameter, right? That's our focal point. We don't have to use, I have a different candle. I just have never gone and gotten it. It's in the other room. Just look at the next time you're at the store or goods or wherever it is, you know, that you like to shop, and look at the centerpieces and look at the containers that they're in and the styles that they put in those containers. So if we use things that can flow over and that can drape to the ground or drape to almost the table, you don't want it touching the table necessarily, it gives you an idea. Also, you want to avoid your design going straight up, right? So when you place items, don't be afraid to place them at angles. One of the reasons that I like to do the front view when I do a centerpiece is because you can't see that angle when I'm over the head, when I'm up here. So watch. Oh, Denise, absolutely. Absolutely. Might be hard to watch, she said, these little chuckleheads, these little chillins, but it sure is fun to watch their reaction. I'm not going to deny that either. Not going to deny it. All right. So there's a couple of different ways you can go about it. This is what I would consider to be a filler. So you can start with your filler. You can start with a focal point. I will be using these beautiful cream poinsettias. Look how nicely they complement this. So we're going to be using those. And I'm actually going to start with the poinsettia. So these have these dark leaves. We're going to use them, but not right this minute. So I'm going to cut off right above the poinsettia. And again, think about how tall you want to go with your design. Where you want to go. Do you want it sitting low down here? You really have to stop and think about where you want to go. I like to find my tallest point first. I truly do. My tallest point first. Then I can kind of build from there. So I keep, let's see, how much room do I need? Do I want to go? Let me go a little bit below those leaves and see what happens. Do that. I might go ahead and do that. Now, again, just like anything else, if you don't have it glued down, you're not stuck with it. It's not permanent. But in this case, I'm just going to go smack dab in the middle of my styrofoam, and I'm going to come down about 2 to 3 inches. And now this becomes my top piece, my highest point. Now from here, I'm going to go down. So that means everything else that I add is going to be below this level. There are a few exceptions, like if I'm going to have a real wispy or light, airy filler just kind of flowing out of it that can go a little bit above it, that's okay. But you don't want to put another flower above this one. You don't want that. So we're going to go down here, and I'm going to come in here at an angle. Love it. And we're going to do a third one, and we're going to do it lower yet. So this one's going to get cut shorter yet. So it's going to go a little bit below that middle one. And of course, you got to try to avoid hitting the previous stem. So now we've got our beginning. We've got the tallest, a middle, and a lower one. If I'm happy with that placement, guess what? I can add my glue and make it a permanent part of our design. If you feel pretty confident anyway, you can put glue on it before you even put it in the styrofoam. Even if you have it glued in and you don't like the location, yank it back out as quickly as possible. If you get it in there and you say, oh, no, that's not the look I was going for, then yank that puppy back out of there. All right, now we're gonna take some of our filler, which is this pine, and let me lay this down. I've got my glue pot plugged in over here at like honey consistency. Not super runny, it just looks like honey. And we're gonna start adding some of this filler in there. And again, the filler can go above our tallest point. If it's real light and airy, especially. And remember, don't go straight in. See how I'm kind of angling this off to the side? And of course, this is wired, so I can actually bend it a little too to conform it. All right, we have more. Pretty liking that. I'm liking that. So I'm actually going to make, I'll turn it around here for you. I'm going to make the side that's facing me right now the front. And I'll tell you why, is because I've got a nice view of this poinsettia, this one, and this one. I can even lean him a little forward so he's not straight looking up at the ceiling. But we're going to bend him just a little forward. Ta-da! And now it clearly helps define that this is the front of the design. Now, as always, I'm going to make it beautiful on each side, but it does help to have a designated front and back, for me anyway. It does for me. All right, if you remember, we used some of these in our teardrop yesterday. So in the spirit of the Christmas collection, one thing that I've always done year after year, this is my 5th year, is made it cohesive so that it can all be used in the same household. So we're using some of our glittered spray from yesterday. Right in there. Perfect, perfect. And I need some shorter. I want some shorter. All right, let me see if I can zoom in so that you guys can easily see a little more up close of what's going on here. Let me scoot this over a little. There you go. Is that a better happening? So this is the front. This is the lowest one. Here is the medium height. And then of course there's our taller one. Here's what we look like on the back side. But of course we are not done yet either. Got a little bit of glue happening right there. So Darlene, actually the bigger the flower, the bigger the statement. So it depends on what look you want to go with. But look how beautiful those poinsettias look. Wait till you see what I do with this one. Look, do you see this one? I'm not loving my, it's not sticking. I might have to, when I go to Hobby Lobby, see about getting a ball and put down in there because that's not sticking. Hang on a second. Oh. I was thinking maybe I had a half ball, but no, I don't. So I'm gonna try that tomorrow. After all that time, trimming that sucker down and it's still not sticking. I don't love it. I'm waiting. This one's going to be tomorrow. So this one will be low to the table and it will be wide. Not tall, but wide. It's gonna be beautiful. All right, so let's go back to this one. This is what I'm super excited about using are these. Adding this royal or navy blue leaves in here. Watch what happens when we add this bit of color. All right, Debbie, we'll see you on the flip side, girl. The whole point about Christmas in July is go outside of your comfort zone. Don't be afraid. All right, this one I am going to need to add a steel pick so I can get some length on it. Of course, if you don't have a steel pick machine, you can use those little wooden skewers that have the wires on the end of them. To show you guys, but he's not in there. I don't have any in there. So I'll add that so that I can easily attach it. It gave me some length on the bottom of it. Same way with this one. And this one we're going to leave all together, which is going to make it a taller one. And we've got a few to work with. All right. So remember, this is the back side. So I need more on the back side to be interesting because our designs need to look beautiful from every angle. So we're going to add some of that blue back here. Let me give it a little glue. And low ends is now that's peeking. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's peeking out from behind. Yeah, you can barely see it on the video. But we're going to integrate this blue all throughout the base as well. I'm probably going to use a couple of these. Again, not going straight in, and we don't want to make it stand straight up. So it gives it some width. Let's go on this side. Come on. I believe in you. Find the phone. There you go. There you go. You got to talk to him sometimes. I'm chuckling because it is gorgeous up here. It is absolutely gorgeous. So now we have, when we put that blue on both sides of that poinsettia, how stinking awesome is that? Hey, Donna. So we can see that we need some more blue right in here, right? We've got a little touch of blue here. So we definitely need some there in the center. But I also brought this one. I don't know if I want to introduce a new element, though. I think I like just the blue. They're called sisal leaves. If Heather were here, she would tell me. Hang on. There we go. So we're going to use a second one. I could probably look this up real quick. Where is my phone anyway? I'm watching your comments on the laptop, and that makes it so much easier. Someday when I grow up, I need a monitor right in front of my table so I can read comments, but just not there. Just not there. I just haven't taken the time to do so. Okay, let's see what this one. It's called Glitter SALAL spray. Salal? I can't even pronounce it. But it is a gorgeous blue. And it's all glitter. It's absolutely gorgeous. All right, let me get a couple more of these ready. With the pick machine. And then, like I said, after I get done today with our Christmas in July project, the kids and I are going to run into Decatur real quick and pick up a few things. And I've got quite the designing to do. I have committed to doing it's going to be super fun, y'all. It's at the county fair building. So they just remodeled the county fair rooms. Okay, they've got separate rooms and barns. They've just upgraded the barns and done work with them. And they're having a 100% fall and Halloween. In fact, I thought he said Halloween, but Heather said fall too. Fall and Halloween event. And I so want to get some designs made that I can take there because I love Halloween. And so, heck yeah, count me in. Yes. All right. Let's do this one. Mm-hmm. Be the boss of your flowers. And when I say that, I mean, everything is in here is practically wired. Everything practically in here is wired. So it may not be wired right on the edges, but make it conform to the look that you're trying to achieve. And don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to make it happen for you. This one, I feel like I want to turn a little more this way. And this one is going to, it's going to come out a little more towards the back side. So see how I'm just kind of getting it to kind of drape over. Look how beautiful that looks in this vase, in this votive vase. I absolutely love it. All right, let me zoom out here for a moment. Ta-da! And get a wider view, because it definitely is making a powerful statement right now. Powerful statement. I don't know that I need this, but let me see. Let me see if I like it or not. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think I need that. Not there anyway. But I still have some of these smaller leaves, and I don't want them to necessarily go to waste. They're great fillers. So I'm going to pop a little pick on them, and we're going to add those just tucking out right underneath the poinsettia. Right in there. Here we go. And see, now that's just kind of draping over, but it's right underneath the poinsettia leaves, right where it belongs. I'm going to try and do another one over here. Again, adding a pick so I've got a little more length to it. I just heard a child. Hello? Hello? I hear a child. Emma, Eli? Maybe they let the dog in. Who let the dogs out? Okay. Right in here. Love it. Absolutely love it. Just that little bit of green right underneath the poinsettia. Looking good. I have one here and here. Looking good. I'm good. What do you guys think? Can you guys tell? It was probably a little easier when I was zoomed in a little bit more, but look. Someone already said I would have not thought to use that large poinsettia in this size of container. Like I said, wait until you come back and watch me do this one. It is going to be 24 inches wide when we get done with it, if not longer. It just depends. But I will be using some of this. It's all going to blend together. I should have, tomorrow I'll have the teardrop swag in here. I brought it in the other room so I could take pictures of it this morning. So, Carol, awesome girl. Please do so. Sandra, you are forgiven. You're never late in my house. Hey, Suzette. Thank you, ladies. All right, friends. I'm going to go check on those chillins, see what's happening, and head to Decatur quickly before all the rest of the things today. Have a great rest of your afternoon. I'll see you tomorrow. And if you haven't already, don't forget to text me the word July. Text me the word July if you want to get notified when I go live this week with our Christmas in July. And when you text me the word July, you get an extra special little Christmas gift from Festive Creations for this week. Have a great rest of your day, and I shall see you tomorrow. Have a good one.